All right, amazing. We are recording. So I'm going to preface this by saying this is the sauce when it comes to social media. And by no means am I going to take credit for any of what I'm about to share. This is literally just what I've learned from some of the best when it comes to social media marketing, when it comes to the affiliate side of what we do. And it freaking works. And I'm not the only one in the organization that is seeing this work at a very high level. I want to shout out Olivia one time because she was the one that really inspired me to take this more seriously back at the end of 2023. And ever since, consistently, the social media play has been working at a very, very high level, at such a high level, in fact, to the point that literally over the past 60 days, I've had 40 personal enrollments from social media without having to get on a call with one of them. Okay. Which is crazy, like to sign them up. Okay. Everything just straight DMs. So if you guys are excited, if you guys are ready to see how this social media training can be used for building the business with Gifu and Revolt, but also just in general for building your brand, for monetizing your social media in other ways, if you guys are ready for the sauce, if you guys are ready for the training, drop a one in the chat as we are about to go ahead and get this thing underway, man, because this is going to be probably the highest level of social media training I've ever personally delivered. I've done social media trainings in the past, but I want to spend some time giving you guys some tools that you can take and apply, and that I guarantee, when applied, will completely change the game for you with building the business. Okay. And I say that with so much confidence because I was the guy, I was the person, I was the leader that spent hours and hours and hours. Well, number one, launching new customers. Okay. We have the best systems in the game for automating that process, practically entirely automated with the fast start, with, different systems we have in place for onboarding. But also, I used to be that guy that would spend hours and hours and hours a day on calls with prospects, on three-way calls. And this is a phenomenal and important part of the traditional side of building the business. And I want to say that. However, I will say that I much rather now, more than ever, sign people up without having to spend the time to actually get on a call with them through an effective DM sequence for inbound leads. And so we're going to talk about a few different important things. There's no slides. I'm going to be sharing my screen on a couple different points, but I want you guys to write this down in your notes. If you're taking notes, now's a good time to grab the notebook and start jotting some stuff down. And if you're driving, if you're in a place where you're multitasking right now, you can't take notes, I would encourage you to go back over this recording and really soak up some of the key points that we're going to be sharing here. Not that it makes a difference to me, but it could make the world of a difference to you with your business. Seriously. So, and I say that with so much confidence because I used to struggle getting 5 signups in a month. I used to struggle. Like, I remember when I first started building the business back in 2019. I was trading in 2018 for about 9 months, got introduced to network and affiliate marketing with a trading company. I was like, dude, this is sick. It's the best of both worlds, best trading education in the world. Friggin' affiliate marketing, this is unreal. The best of both worlds. Okay. Build to trade, trade to build. It was great. We have an even better vehicle now with our current partnerships and the current structure of everything, which is great. But back in 2019, I didn't know anything about the social media system, really. I was posting social media content, and believe it or not, 90% of all business, or 90% of all people that I've worked with in this industry has come from social media. 90%. Okay. 90%. So I don't even know how many personals I've enrolled over the course of 6 years. Uh, Probably hundreds. And I would say 90% have come through social media. Sure, some people have come from the traditional side of network marketing. And maybe in your business, it's like more on the traditional side of network marketing. That's fantastic. It's good to have the best of both worlds. But I will say that I used to struggle way back in the day, and even, to be honest, up until like 2022, I used to struggle with building the business. I used to be frustrated building the business, having conversations with people, but like they just weren't buying. They weren't getting started. There was just some sort of resistance that, I seemed to have. And I thought it was like a me thing. I thought I was the problem, and I was the problem, but it's not because of like me as a person. It was just the approach and the strategy and the methodology and the tools I was using. Okay. And so This was a really, really key shift for me, understanding the social media system, the power of it, and how simple it is. It's really simple. And I think that that which is simple is very easy to duplicate. And I'm excited for everybody that's here on this call, watching this live or in the recording, for you to be able to duplicate this process because I promise you, I'm no different. Olivia is no different. Some of the other high level leaders in this organization are no different than any of you, the ones that are signing up 10, 15, 20, 30 people in a month from social media. Like we are nobody special. Okay. Sure, I might be doing trading calls 3 times a week and, going to be educating on the platform soon. Sure. But you don't need to be an educator. You don't need to be someone who's been doing this for 6, 7 years to build a business and be enrolling 20 people a month. Like there are people in previous partnerships that have been using social media systems and literally had 50, 60, 70 signups in a single month from social media. Like if you guys are serious about taking this information in and you want to be at some point in a position where you're averaging 20 signups every single month, drop a 20 in the chat. Okay. Because it's going to be a combination of both the traditional side of affiliate marketing, word of mouth, belly to belly, and social media. It's not going to be one or the other. It has to be a combination of the two. All right. Now, I'll be honest. Like I said, 90% of my business and the people that I've worked with over the years have come through social media. So 10% is from the traditional side and that, tap rooting and working with people belly to belly, so to speak, with the traditional side of affiliate marketing. The other 90%, though, has come almost effortlessly through social media. Effortlessly. It's like it's easy. Like people just hit me up and they're like, "Hey man, like I'm ready to go. I want to work with you. Let's rock and roll." It's like I don't have to get on a call with them. It's over DMs. I'm having people sign up while I'm sleeping and they're like waiting 8 hours to get the freaking launch, next steps. Like it's hilarious. And I know I'm not the only one. Olivia is experiencing this on a regular basis as well as some of the other leaders on this call. So, and the reason I keep shouting at Olivia is because, like I said, she was the one that inspired me to really take this seriously, and she was the one that really, put social media on the map with this whole organization of Revolt in a really big way. So, first thing I want to talk about, again, if you're taking notes, now I know I went on a bit of a tangent, but this is the key thing that I want you to write down. Sales and marketing are the two most important skills to master in this business. And not just this business, it's any business, sales and marketing. Here's an interesting point though. Your sales will increase as your marketing outputs are increasing. You will get more sales naturally as you're putting out more marketing in various ways, whether that's, face to face, which can be effective, whether that's, in my opinion, what's more effective, posting to social media outlets where you're seeing there's a lot more eyes on what you're doing. So you're actually killing two birds with one stone, or actually, if we're going to be accurate, it's like, maybe you have a following of 500 people, you post a story, 10% of your following, that's 50 people at least, I would say, are going to see that story. That's 50 eyeballs. Well, actually, it's 100. Okay. 50 people. Okay. Everybody's got two eyes, I'm assuming. 100 eyeballs that are on your content, 50 people. And that's, that's attention. And I'm going to take you guys through really the process of I guess you could say it's a funnel, right? It's essentially a funnel, right? But the process with social media, there's 4 stages to it. So, but two major skills in general to learn at a very high level, doesn't matter what business or what industry you're building, network marketing with Jifu and Revolt, whether it's, your own personal brand or your own company's fashion, whatever it is, okay? It's sales and marketing. Sales is what's driving revenue. Marketing is what's driving the sales ultimately. And marketing precedes sales. So it's what comes first. Before somebody can make a buying decision, they need to be seeing some form of information that is getting them fired up to be like, all right, cool. I want to work with this guy, Dayton. He's got a cool, style and energy, and he seems to be pulling money from the markets. I want to work with this guy. Okay, marketing is what precedes that conversation from even taking place. So, social media is such a phenomenal tool because you're not limited in your reach. Okay, you might think that the follower count that you have right now is what's limiting you. But remember, when you put out a piece of content, the algorithm is pushing it to people that are non-followers. And when you get consistent at posting content, it's being consistently pushed to more and more non-followers. So we'll talk a little bit about the algorithm, not too much. And I want to talk about a few tools because I think some people were ready for this call and they're like, all right, Donnie's been talking about this ManyChat thing. He's like talking about how he like promotes opportunity calls, never ever has to like actually manually send out a link to his prospects to get them on the call, which is true. And I'm going to talk about some of the tools, but understand that the tools are kind of just a minor element. It's really more the understanding of the process of social media that will get you to a point where you're averaging 20 enrollments every single month. I had 29 last month. I'm at 10 right now with a few loading. I should be pushing closer to 15 by the end of this month. So approximately 40 in the last 60 days. Okay. And I don't say that to impress anybody. It's just, that's just a result of this system that I'm going to be sharing with you guys today. So sales and marketing, really key components. Now, the goal with social media is to walk through these four different levels and stages that I'm going to go ahead and see if I can draw out for you guys. Okay, we're going to try this whiteboard thing. Okay, use whiteboard classic. Yeah, let's do that. All right. So here we are on the whiteboard. Okay, there's four levels or four stages that you're basically, we're just going to call it the four stages of social media when it comes to building a business using social media. All right. And we'll make this a little bit bigger. Okay. Four stages of social media. So write this down in your notes. All right. Stage number one is attention. When you post a Instagram story, an Instagram reel, a YouTube video, any sort of platform, a TikTok, okay? The first thing that you are generating, and this is marketing, okay? The first, any sort of post is marketing. You are marketing yourself, you're marketing what you do, you're marketing a product or service, you're marketing XYZ, whatever it is, okay? But the first thing that's happening is you have attention. You have people that are having their eyes on your content, all right? Now, there's four stages of social media marketing. Let's actually change this to marketing. Four stages of social media marketing. And it's really important that you understand how these fit together and really the process that you want to take someone through in order to really build effectively on social media. So the first thing is attention. You post a video, obviously there's people watching that video, but what you need to do with that attention is you need to capture that attention. So there's a difference between someone viewing, that's part two, stage two is capture. You need to be able to capture that attention. What it means to capture attention versus just have attention is you have viewers that are seeing your stuff that are just going to continue scrolling and not do anything about it. But then you have captured attention, which is somebody sees your content and follows you. Now you're able to actually communicate directly with them. You're capturing attention. So if somebody sees an Instagram reel of mine and it's valuable enough for them to be like, dang, that was a phenomenal reel. Let me go and check out some of his past content. And then they go to my page and they see some other great reels and make the decision to follow me. I have now captured that attention. I now have a follower that I can see, Sam followed me, Morrison Hustle on Instagram followed me. I have now captured that attention, and it's an excuse for me to reach out to him in DMs. We'll get into this in a second, the approach and the process that I use for capturing attention. But this is essentially now you actually have a point of contact with the viewer. It's not just attention anymore, it's captured attention because you actually have a point of contact with the individual, whether it's Instagram, whether it's an email, whether it's a phone number. All right. With different businesses, there's different funnels or processes to capture attention and capture information. Now, the third step is to nurture. Okay. Four stages of social media marketing. Third step is to nurture. There's an interesting, you know, I guess, consideration that I'll share with you guys here. And a lot of, you know, I guess you could say like gurus or people that are in the world of business and social media marketing where they measure these different analytics where it's like the time in between someone following and the time between someone actually being sold on your offer. In this case, Jifu and Revol and joining the community. But really, what it comes down to is not so much the time between when they followed and when they bought. It's actually the amount of content they're consuming is the key factor. Someone could come and follow my Instagram and just binge all my reels and be like, yo, this guy's a real deal. I'm ready to sign up same day. It's not, oh, I'm converting people in 24 hours. No, it's the amount of content that they consumed was enough to be at a point where they're like, all right, this guy clearly knows what he's doing. I want to work with him. It's not, oh, Jim follows me, watches one of my reels, follows me for 6 months, then he binges my content and then he reaches out. See the difference? It wasn't that it took 6 months, it's the amount of content that was consumed that actually brought that person to the point of being like, okay, I trust this guy, he's got credibility, and I want to work with him. Does that make sense? This is a really key component of the four stages because the nurture stage is something that can happen naturally, but it's also something that you can direct. And the reason that you can direct this is when you have someone that has been, the attention has been captured, they've followed you, use that as an excuse to start a conversation. Use that as an excuse to start a conversation. You'll have people that are naturally going to be reaching out to you if you're using the different social media trainings that we have already on the Revolt website or that, Christina's done on previous calls or that Olivia's done on previous calls. These are two, women that are absolutely dominating on social media. And, you'll have pieces of content with specific call to actions for them to, DM you a certain word or a certain phrase like copy trading. Okay. That is a great inbound lead generator, having TikToks, having reels that are directing people to your DMs. That's fantastic. There's going to be some people though that just watch your content and just follow you. They don't necessarily reach out to you first. But when they follow you, perfect excuse and reason to reach out to them and start the nurturing process. Okay. And I'll get into some more of how you can go about doing that in a second here, as soon as we're done this section of the training. So, number four is convert. Okay. You need to convert the attention that you initially had, the captured attention, which is when they're actually following you, you have a line of contact. The nurture process is ultimately what will bring someone to a buying decision and to convert in your business. Okay. So, and this is, the sales process that you're currently using. Maybe it's a call. All right. Maybe it's through DMs. Okay. Understand that you as a business owner, an independent business owner, as an affiliate, as an ambassador within this company, you kind of get to set the rules up or set the structures up or the systems up to build the business the way you want to. And this is a really key point because if you're someone that's building the business to I don't know, create an extra $5,000 a month, but the sacrifice is to be on calls 10 hours a day, every single day. For me, at least, that's not really worth it because I could go work a job and work 10 hours a day and still make $5,000 a month. It's not really worth it to me. It's like the trade-off isn't there. Or I could build my business to a point of making $5,000 a month, spending 2 hours a day on social media, responding to DMs, and never having to jump on a call to close somebody. That's way more worth it. 2 hours a day, 7 days a week, it's 14 hours a week to make 5K in a month. I'm down, right? So understand that you kind of have the reins to really steer and direct your ship, so to speak, when it comes to building the business. You can build a business the way that you feel most aligned with. That's not to say that you shouldn't be taking calls and doing three-way calls to support your people. That's not to say you shouldn't be promoting and inviting for opportunity calls. In fact, I'm saying you absolutely should. But hey, there's a process and a way that you can close people without necessarily having to always jump on a call. Okay. So how many of you guys, just out of curiosity, like how many of you are like, all right, cool, you know, I want to make 5K a month building the business, but maybe only spending, 2, 3 hours a day in the process of making sure everybody's taken care of and also in the onboarding process. Like how many of you guys are like, that's appealing to me and I want that specifically? Drop a two in the chat. If you're like, 5K a month, a few hours a day, you're not like having to like just exert this massive amount of activity every day to build, you know what I mean? It's like you kind of just have systems in place and it's almost effortless. Like I said, it's almost effortless. And I'm seeing some too. I'm surprised there's not more twos in the chat. Am I on the wrong? Are you guys on the wrong call right now? This is a social media systems call, ladies and gentlemen. So I mean, if you want to go and exert and be on the grind, absolutely, by all means, 100%, go for it. You know what I mean? That's totally cool. But for me, at least, that wasn't my ideal vision. I felt that the best and the highest income producing activity is, believe it or not, creating content. Think about it. You could spend an hour on a call with somebody to launch them. You could spend an hour on a call to support somebody in making the decision to get started, presenting information. Or you could spend an hour creating content that you're then putting out, which is then creating immense amount of attention from all the followers you currently have, but also reaching new followers that are potentially then going to be captured attention as they are following you, that you can then nurture and convert. And instead of it being like one call with a couple people, it's 1 hour spent creating content that you can then put out that is going to reach, in some cases, hundreds, if not thousands of people. Now, not every person that views your content is going to be a new follower, but I'm sure you guys can kind of get the point because really you think about it like an income producing activity is actually creating content because it's marketing. And the marketing is then bringing in the leads that are ultimately going to build your business. So, and I think there's a big misconception. It's like the training balance scale. It's not so much the activity that is going to equate to higher income. It's, the process, it's the systems, it's the thinking and the planning that actually dictates just how much of an increase in income you're seeing, not so much the activity. So these are the four stages of social media marketing. So for those of you guys that drop twos in the chat that are like, all right, cool, I want to set up systems to maybe, spend a few hours a day getting back to people, supporting people, and making decision to get started, not spending as much time on calls, just sort of closing the DMs. If that's you, or maybe you just want to, be having a little bit more of a balance between calls and closing of the DMs. This next section is really going to be for you guys specifically. So there's again, probably the highest income producing activity. It doesn't produce income immediately, but that will produce income for you is content creation. And so, what I'll move into now, because the way that you're going to get attention is creating content, right? It needs to be some form of content. It can be written content on something like X or a blog. It could be video content. It could be even like a written content on your Instagram story or threads or something, right? It could be video content where you're making like a long form video on YouTube. It could be a short form video like a reel or a TikTok or a YouTube short. Okay. These are pieces of content that are a great way to steer somebody and direct somebody after you've given enough value to then steer someone and direct someone to follow you on Instagram. That's how you're going to capture attention or send you a DM with a keyword to your Instagram. That's how you're going to capture attention. Again, attention is the starting point. You need to capture that attention. You need to direct them to your Instagram. So when creating content, there's really so many different things you could talk about in content, but I think the biggest and most important thing, okay, when considering and creating content and what kind of content to put out is you need to put yourself in the shoes of the viewer. And you need to think about for yourself personally, when I'm consuming content, what content makes me want to follow the person that I'm seeing the content from. For me, it's always like the content is just so valuable that I'm like, yo, this was fire. Like, I'm gonna follow this person and probably go and binge a bunch more of their reels because it was actually immensely valuable. So when you're creating content and you're just talking about some bullshit that nobody cares about, they're not gonna follow you, respectfully. Like, it needs to be of value. Okay. So what value are you gonna provide? Maybe it's something that is niched to specifically trading. or maybe it's something that's specifically niched to affiliate marketing, or maybe it's specifically niched to personal development, whatever the case is. For me and my page, it's trading. Okay, if we take a look at my Instagram page, I'll pull it up really quickly, just to use as an example, and we'll actually pull up a couple other examples as well on this call. But this is my Instagram. If you don't already follow me, feel free. But this is the way that my Instagram page is structured. Again, we could get into all the technicalities of like your bio should look like this or this, that, whatever. Like it's a very minor detail. Okay. The technical, aspects of social media, like the tools and everything, like none of that matters. It's really, are you putting out content? Is there eyeballs on your content? Are people seeing your stuff? Are you nurturing them with more content on a regular basis? And can they get enough value to be like, yo, I want to work with this person? Okay, that's really what matters. It's not like what does the bio look like? What is the what I do video look like exactly? Okay, you should have a what I do video. It's a great asset. We're going to get into some content assets that everybody on this call should have and should create if you don't have them already. We'll get into that. But you can see that my page is very much focused around day trading. Okay, day trading educator with Revolt. I help people multiply their income and store wealth. You should have some sort of a phrase here. Okay, if we're getting into the technicalities, like you should have some sort of I help people XYZ. Okay, I help people multiply their income and store wealth. Maybe for you, it's I help 9 to 5ers increase their income without a second job. That used to be my previous one, to be honest. And then I have some sort of call to action in my bio. DM me info to learn how we can work together. Okay, you should have some sort of a catch, an eye catcher in your bio that's like, okay, this is what this person does, and then some sort of a call to action in your bio. You should absolutely have those two things. Okay, but it's a very minor detail. I will say though, I have a lot of people that DM me the word info, and that's part of the reason why I get, a number of signups every single month. Not every single signup's coming from that, but I'll have people that DM me that word, and I'm able to take them through an inbound DM script that I'll be sharing with you guys and support them in making a decision to get started. Okay. But most of my content, if you go to my reels, we're specifically talking about video content. Okay. Posts, they're good for nurturing the people that you're already having as your followers. Okay. Reels are what are actually going to be pushed to non-followers a lot more and will get new eyes on your content and new followers on your page. Okay. Most of the content that I create is around trading. So I have a very niched page that is, personal development and trading. Those are like the two things primarily. Now, when somebody watches one of my videos, for example, this one, we can watch this one together. This is a very valuable video. And I mean, you guys can watch this and you guys let me know. Let me see. Let me know if you guys can hear the sound. One thing has allowed me to trade full time and have. Does it sound good? Yes. Okay, perfect. Hold on, let me pull it back up. We'll play it from the beginning. This one thing has allowed me to trade full time and have $1,000 days even while traveling the world. And it's the ability to trade and understand high impact news events. The main reasons that people fail when trading news events is number one, they're taking trades before the news is actually released, leaving them susceptible to stop hunts. The second thing is they're over leveraging. They're risking more than they should be, and therefore their wins are massive home runs, but their losses are also massive and suck. And the third thing is they have no clear entry or exit framework to their trades. I have a full in-depth training on how to profitably trade news and how I've been able to absolutely snipe the markets, the past two NFPs as well as CPI news. Comment news down below and I'll send it over to you for free. Okay, so how many of you guys would comment news on that video? Drop a one. Think about why though. Why would you comment news? You guys, he's hot. That's crazy. It's the glow serum. But why would you comment? Why would you comment? Why would you ask for the video? By the way, look at how many comments, right? I think this video has like 280 something comments or something crazy. Okay. So because of the value you give, for sure. I talk about, how trading high impact news completely changed my life, makes me lots of money. And then I talk about why a lot of people suck at trading news. But then I also kind of say, hey, listen, like I have a whole blueprint for how to profitably trade news. I'll send it to you for free if you comment news, right? The tone is trusting because the haircut is fresh, right? Free value, peaked interest, professional, it's free. Okay. Now, pain problem solution. Exactly. That's a key point. Um, that's a very key point actually when it comes to content creation. How can you identify or kind of, have someone feeling almost an element of pain. They're like, like they can relate to it. It's like, yeah, like, my page is very trading niched. So a lot of traders are already following my page, right? This might not be the best content for you to make because the reality is a lot of you guys are very new to trading. Your following is probably not traders. If it's traders, this could be a perfect piece of content to create. You can literally duplicate the same kind of concept. Okay. But for most people that are seeing this, your page is probably not niched specifically or as heavily on trading. The reason this works so well for me is because I already have a lot of trader followers. I've been building my page and revolving it around the niche of trading for like 6 years. Okay, even longer than that, to be honest. And again, it's pain, slash problem and solution, right? People are kind of feeling the video as I'm sharing it. And then of course it's like free value. It's like, dude, yeah, bro, how many people do you guys think realistically commented news and then didn't even watch the video? Probably a lot. Because people in the moment, they're like, yo, definitely I want that video. 100%. And then it's like they get the video and it's like, okay, maybe they watch it, maybe they don't. But for the people that do, it's a full 30-minute training for free on my YouTube, just giving value. Now you might be thinking to yourself, well, Donnie, why would you do that? Because I understand that to nurture a lead, to make a buying decision, they need to see enough value and enough content to make that buying decision. So again, I had, hundreds of people that commented on this post, 183. Okay, 183 comments. Um, all of those people that commented were sent the recording hands-free. I didn't have to lift a finger. And we'll get into the how and the tool that I use for doing that in a second. But all those people that commented got a message from me, which was automated. I didn't have to lift a finger to do it. And it sent them that free training. Whether they decide to watch it or not doesn't make a difference to me. But for the people that do watch the training, they're like, wow, this is probably really valuable. It's like a 30-minute training. I know a lot of you guys have probably seen the training. It's a great training. It's probably like some of the best value I've ever given for free, to be honest. But people love free value. Okay, if we keep going through here, let's watch this one.
I meant to do this yesterday, but didn't get an opportunity to. So we're doing yesterday's results and today's results from the trade room in one video. Beautiful day outside. So this is a trade idea from yesterday, AUD USD. It was a sell limit order sent out with entry parameters. These are some of the results from the team. So we had Simeon here up $27 on the trade, $200 from Stian. Let's go Stian. Carter up $50 on the trade. This was $253 from Pat. Let's go. We had a really fat trading day for Traven, which we love to see. Dayton was eating on the trade. Let's go. Albert, so on and so forth. So in a second here, I'm going to go into the updates for Euro USD, which was also shared earlier this morning. I literally smacked take profit while I was having brunch. So these are the results in the results tab from April 9th, which was today. Shout out to JP for absolutely demolishing scalps on Bitcoin. This is on his live account. In fact, he ended up taking a withdrawal. Shout out to Walker for taking a $600 withdrawal as well. We're not just copying and pasting to copy and paste. Like the guys are actually paying themselves, which we love to see. In a second here, you'll see, the $800 withdrawal from JP. JP literally took a $700 withdrawal yesterday. If you're in a trading group and none of the people are actually taking withdrawals, like, bro, you got to tap in with us. Made a post this morning while I was literally at breakfast and who's making some money this morning. Had a few people that dropped screenshots. We got Chad. $1,000 day on a funded account. Blake making some money on the live. Let's go. I show this for two reasons. Okay. Number one, if they can do it, so can you. And I made the commitment to myself to actually like showcase what happens inside the community more often because most of the content that I post is just value based. That's not going anywhere, by the way. Like there's going to be more value, more training, more stuff that's being posted on my page that's value focused. But I really want to commit myself to you guys and just in general to share what happens inside the community day in, day out. Yesterday, today, I'm sharing this, but it's like, this happens every day. The second reason is what we do works, man. Like if you really understand the power of copy trading, the fact that you can be super busy, not have a ton of time, but literally turn your phone, the same phone that I'm recording this video on, into an ATM, like, dude, increasing your income without a second job from your phone, there's nothing better than it, I promise you. So if you really understand the power of like what it is that we're doing and you want to be involved, DM me or reply to this story, copy trading, and I'll put you on game.
Okay. So this is like just straight results, and this is a longer one too. I wouldn't say that, you should always post content like this, but at the same time, there was a lot of people that commented, copy trading or DM'd me the word copy trading. And all these individuals are people where the attention is being captured. It's not just, attention that's viewing the video and continuing. It's people that are like, yo, this is sick. I want to be a part of this. And people that obviously commented and also DM'd me copy trading after seeing the video. So obviously this is like very results focused, this particular reel. But again, a key point that I want to show and kind of highlight here was the call to action at the end of the video. You want to give value. This is not really like giving value. It's just like showing people, what we do. Okay. But it's still a, good piece of content to put out once in a blue moon. I had like a really results focused week that week. There was a couple instances where we were focusing on that. But the point is you want to have attention that is then captured, which means you can start a conversation with them. Now, the conversation is your perfect opportunity to nurture that individual. Again, there's 4 stages in the process of social media marketing. Number one is attention itself, which comes only from content. Like you have to be posting content. Otherwise, your social media is literally sitting there dormant, not doing shit. It's like, dude, how are you going to expect to go hit $5,000 a month if you're not posting content? Like, I understand that not everybody is going to be as comfortable in front of a camera, but guess what? When I started recording videos, oh my gosh, I should try and find a video of me in 2018, 2019 sitting down and recording a video. It's brutal. Brutal. There wasn't CapCut back then, man. It was one take gang. Okay? Bad. Terrible. You would not be you'd be shook. You'd be like, dude, this is not Donnie. And you're like, yeah, it is Donnie. Without a goatee, number one. And number two, he sucks on camera. This is crazy. So you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And guess what? Your comfort zone, as you start to do activity that's outside your comfort zone expands. And eventually that activity is a part of your new comfort zone. So recording content is the marketing that's necessary for attention to then be captured. And the process of you then capturing, nurturing, and converting that attention, which are the next 3 steps. I mean, you can't do the next 3 steps if you're not actually getting attention and capturing it. Does that make sense? Like content, the actual output of content is the most important component of the social media system. Okay, and we'll get into the automations. I know you guys are. I'm keeping it until the end because I want people to stay on for the training, and then I'll give you guys the sauce for the tools to automate DMs and comments and all that. All right, I know the tools are a lot of people are here for the sauce and the tools. I'm gonna save it for the end, okay? Because the actual tools themselves aren't what dictate the amount of money you make from social media. It's the actual understanding behind it, right? So what kind of content can you post? All kinds of content. I don't want to spend too much time talking about what kind of content to post, because there's other trainings out there that talk about that, but also like literally just study the pages of people that already have what you want. Like that is as simple as it gets. It's just like in trading. It's like you want to copy and paste the traders that are already profiting, making 6 figures doing this. So obviously you can study my page. If you haven't already studied my reels, go study them. Drop my link in the chat. if you haven't already gone and studied, I don't know why you wouldn't have done this already if you're wanting to take social media seriously. But if you haven't already gone and studied Olivia's page, what are you doing? Go do it right now. I'm dropping her link in the chat. Okay. Follow her, study her content. Same thing with Christina. Like these are the ladies that I replicate on my page. Obviously, I'm adding my own swag and I'm like the trading guy, so everything's like trading guru kind of, Don sitting in front of the camera giving you trading value. But study the three Instagram links that I just dropped in the chat. You got my page, Olivia's, and Christina's. Christina and Olivia are freaking phenomenal with social media. Like these ladies crush on social media. Okay. Obviously, for time's sake, I'm not going to go into any of the reels, but you'll notice that as you're studying Olivia's reels and Christina's reels, same with their TikToks, a lot of them have value, calls to action, value, calls to action, value, calls to action. Whether that call to action is for them to follow, and I know in a lot of cases it's just to DM or connect on Instagram with a specific word or phrase or whatever. So again, the actual creation of the content, this is Christina's page. Again, the links are in the Zoom chat. But the whole purpose of social media content is to get attention and then capture the attention, nurture that, and convert on it. Okay. But again, you can't get attention unless you're posting content. Like it's that simple. Like the tools, all the other fine, technicalities don't matter. The finer tuned details don't matter if you're not posting content. So I could show you and tell you guys all the tools. I was literally thinking of doing a call just focusing on that, but it's not going to matter if you're not putting out the content to even actually take advantage of the tools, if that makes sense. So let's continue. Let's talk about social media assets. I want you guys to write these down. Okay. These are the top uh okay, yeah. Yeah. We're gonna say top five most important social media assets that you need to have in your back pocket. Okay. You say that as a figure of speech. Obviously you can't actually put social media assets in your back pocket, of course. But let's pull this up. I don't know why I needed to clarify that, obviously. Okay. Um, social media assets. These are the most important social media assets to have for building the business. Can you guys see this? You guys, how does this works? Okay, cool. I didn't go to the old school version, so I'm on the new school whiteboard. It's tripping me out. Okay. So number one and number two go hand in hand. The most important. All right. Please don't doodle on my whiteboard. Please and thank you. Okay. Oh man, we're on like the new and improved Zoom whiteboard. This is interesting. Okay. Number one. All right, number one. What I do / join my team, story highlight. This is the most crucial social media asset for you to create leaving this call. If you don't have this, you absolutely I mean, well, again, it doesn't make a difference to me if you decide to do this or not. But I mean, if you're wanting to literally enroll like 20 people a month on average, this is like an absolute necessity for your social media page. Okay. Again, study the pages that I dropped in the chat, myself, and even more importantly, Christina and Olivia, because they actually have what I do story highlights that are current and up to date. I'm actually going to be re-recording mine this week, which will be exciting. But these are absolutely crucial to have on your social media. So you know how you can do like social media highlights, right? Social media highlights, it's like those little bubble things that are on your page. Okay. The What I Do story highlight and the Join My Team story highlight, you can actually have both. The Join My Team one, we actually literally have a template for now. So it's very simple, very easy for anybody to create as they're in the middle of actually recording the What I Do video templates themselves. I'll show it visually in a second. But this is really what is going to be used after someone's got their interest peaked and has reached out to you, or after they've followed and you're now reaching out to them. because it's kind of like permission to reach out to them. Like you don't have to copy and paste and DM cold outreach, DM 100 people a day to have 20 signups in a month. In fact, I'll be honest, I've never ever done that. Ever. Like I was always the person that was like hating when people were copying and pasting and messaging me the same shit every single day. So why in the heck would I want to go and be that guy to somebody else? Now, don't get me wrong. Cold market DMing can be effective for building your business, for sure. I just didn't align and resonate with that particularly myself. Can it work for you? 100%. In fact, I know people on this call that do that. There's nothing wrong with doing that. But I will say that when somebody is a new follower to your page, that's the perfect excuse to reach out to them because they're now warm. It's not cold anymore, it's warm. So you want to use the inbound DM script, which I'm going to give you guys. It's the next asset. But the ultimate goal is going to be directing people to this. Okay. So let's actually talk about sharing your whiteboard, close it for everyone. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Let's actually talk about these highlights. Okay. The join my team highlight and the what I do highlight can be likened to kind of the same thing, but the join my team highlight that I have right now is different. And it's more of like the tip of the iceberg, what I do story highlight. So this is literally, you guys can literally take the template that I'll drop in the chat and you guys can use this. And shout out to Olivia. I'm pretty sure she was the one that initially shared this with the whole team. So big shout out to her again. But this is the Join My Team story highlight. So it's, this is literally like stuff that you can take the template. All you're doing is swapping out the picture in the back with a picture of yourself. So take a dope picture, business professional picture, all the text, the images, everything is in the template, and you're just, throwing your own picture in the background. Okay. And it's like a overview, basically GFU and everything. Now I want to be clear, and this is, something that I've learned through experience, but also from mentors, is for this particular um, story highlight, if you're just doing like the screenshots, like overviewing what it is that you have, you don't really want to put price in this particular story highlight. You want to give them a call to action to DM you. Okay, because some people are going to follow your page, see the join my team, go through this and be like, oh, this is sweet. And then they actually take the initiative to start the conversation, DMing you the word ready. Whereas if you have on the last story highlight of or last page of this story highlight, it costs this amount of money to work with me, DM me ready if you're ready to go, you're going to be way less likely to actually receive people DMing you from this particular story highlight. So use this and have this on your page with just the template that I'll share in the chat. Okay, I'm going to share this in the chat right now for you guys. Um, Hold on, let me pull this up real quick. And literally, it's so simple. You guys can do this in like 2 minutes. Just find a picture, copy and paste the picture into the Canva template like 6, 7 times. For however many stories there are. You don't have to come up with the pictures. You don't have to do the cool graphics. Like it's literally done for you using this template. And there's also what I do story script in that Notion that Sam put together. Um, I think I copy and pasted the whole thing. I just meant to send the join my team template, but those are both there. So feel free to use the script from Sam as well. Okay. But literally just from Canva, I'll show you guys what it looks like. When you pull this up, if you're on a computer, it'll look like this. If you're on from your phone, you'll be able to pull this up. So literally open this right now and you'll see it. Okay. You just want to go to file and then click make a copy. That way you can make your own copy. You can edit this and all you're going to do is just swap out the picture. This picture right here, I would just delete it, put in a new picture, right? And then everything else, all the text, all of that it's there. It's done for you. Okay. So this is like the easiest thing. Hey, we even got Jordan in here. Let's go. Right? We can keep that there in the template. That's no problem. Jordan's here too. Jordan's here. It's important to make a copy. All right, but it doesn't really matter as long as the different overlays are there. Again, you could have price if you want in there. I would encourage the call to action for them to DM you, and then you can sell them in the DMs. Right? Write this down. You never really want to sell on your story unless it's a promo. Um, and actually giving price is usually not something you want to do on a story post either. You could be like, yo, doing a major promo, it's this percent off. DM me the word and I'll give you more, get you more info or whatever. You want to sell practically none of the time on your feed, on your story, on your reels, on your posts, and you want to sell 100% of the time in your DMs. So your story posts, your reels, your feed should be made up of value, and that's it. Value with call to actions, value, call to actions, value, call to actions. From the call to actions, boom, go crazy, sell in the DMs. Okay. The reason why is because if a bunch of people see your content and it's just you selling this thing, like, bro, you're going to lose followers. Like, people are not going to be interested in watching your content because they know that you're just out to get them. Right. That's the perspective they have. They're like, oh, Anton's just out to get me. Here he is, he's trying to sell me on the feed again. No. But if Anton's just putting out the value, I'm like, damn, this guy's just got the sauce. Like, I want to follow this guy. And then I watch enough of his reels and I'm like, dude, like, I want to take action. When he goes and posts his story, hey, looking to work with the next 5 people that reach out to me, I'm going to be like, dude, I've been watching his content. I want to work with him. Boom, let me work with him. And then go crazy selling in the DMs. Go crazy selling in the DMs. Okay. So use that template for the Join My Team story highlight. The next story highlight is the What I Do video. Okay. It's an actual video that you take the time to record. And I want to actually show Olivia's here. Okay. Because she actually has one that's up to date, but it's literally a video. So it's kind of the same as the Join My Team, but it's like a video overview of everything. Okay. So she actually has like a video overviewing the whole thing. Obviously the each of the stories is like 1 minute long, so I'm not going to play the whole thing, but she's actually overviewing, and you can study this in your own time, study this, but it's a quick story highlight that overviews GFU, that overviews the scanners, the travel, the whole business in a few minutes. Okay. Why is it okay to include price in this one and not in the other one? Because someone literally needs to have watched this for 5 minutes before the price is shared versus just clicking through a text story and then it's like, oh, price, I'm not buying that. You see the difference? So the Join My Team story highlight and the What I Do story highlight are different. The Join My Team is like tip of the iceberg. When they want more info, boom, go to the What I Do story highlight, watch that. And from there, it's like they're actually getting a bit more info and more value to then justify the price. Okay. That's the thought process behind that. Another important asset that you should have in your highlights are results. Okay, results. You should have a story highlight that is specifically for results. These are the three most important story highlights to have. And also, I guess the fourth one is your story, right? Telling your story. So you have the Join My Team, you have the What I Do, results, your story. Okay, results is literally just, look at her. She's making this espresso up $80 on the tray from freaking 71 weeks ago. She's been doing this for 71 weeks. Wow. She's been doing this. Okay. You get a results page going now, 3 years go by, people are going to be like, wow, Anton's been doing this for time. It's not just a phase that he's in, like he's been doing this, right? Results, results, results. Constantly just sharing results in the results tab. This is like if anybody had any sliver of doubt as to whether or not this works, and they're on her page, and then they see, okay, what I do, my story, Dubai, success stories, results. It's like one of the first few story highlights. They can go through that and be like, dang, like this is pretty fire. And she's constantly sharing results and showing the process on her reels. So again, assets. Let me pull this back up. Social media assets. Okay. What I do, so I show my team story highlight. Number two, results. Key, super key. This cannot, let me say this. This does not always need to be your results. You might be doing this for like a week. It's like, dude, you're still on a demo account. Like, you don't need to share your own results. It's great if you have your own results, but show the freaking team results. Why do you guys think I made that reel showing all the people that made money from those 2 days of trading? Because people don't really care if you're making money. It's, are other people making money? Is this possible for the person that's watching the video? When you show them 30 people, 15 people, 10 people in a Telegram chat that are all sharing the results, it's way more of a belief check to like, okay, this actually works. Otherwise, Olivia's just paying 10 actors to like fake results. And it's like, dude, obviously not. Like she's posting content and value on a regular basis. Like that's kind of delusional to think. You don't have to tag them either. No. You don't, I mean, you could if you want, but I'll be honest, like I'm pretty sure in that reel, I didn't tag everybody that I was showcasing. You know what I mean? This is your content, your assets that you're posting. So you can post it to your feed and also like do a quick run through of the results tab on our Telegram group. There's tons from every single day since the beginning of April. Literally post that in a story highlight. Okay. Now we're getting closer to the tools, almost there. All right. I'm not going to give you like the exact A to Z on how to use the tools today. I'm just going to leave them with you guys. Number three, number three is, and this is like, these are the top two for sure in a particular order. The last three are like kind of no particular order. But I want to say that this is something that I kind of like accidentally found out about. But literally a YouTube video showcasing GFU Connect and how to use it. So I have a video that I made from our previous company, very similar to GFU Connect. And it was like a video that I made. It has like almost 9,000 views on YouTube because I accidentally posted it publicly. It was literally just supposed to be like a how to copy and paste from our trading app for the team unlisted. And I think I like accidentally posted it publicly, but I was like, whatever, we'll just leave it because it showcases the app and people have to pay for the app. And so, I started to get comments on this YouTube video and they were like, hey, how can I access this? Hey, like, can you support me in accessing this? And then I added to the video description as I was getting these comments, DM Donovan, Taylor on or Donnie Drop it on Instagram, the word Solex, because that was the app's name before, or GFU for this app. And I'll show you how to get it set up. And so I still to this day get 5 people minimum every single week that DM me the word Solex from that video that I put out on YouTube that has almost 9,000 views. And it was a shitty call to action. Like there is no call to action in the video because it's literally just a tutorial on how to copy and paste trades. So imagine you made a video for GFU Connect showcasing how you would copy and paste a setup. Don't even need to put your face in the video. My face isn't even in the video. It's literally just screen recording your phone, talking over it. Hey, here's a trade idea from Tony and Nico, or here's a trade idea from Tap to Trade. Okay. Showcase Tap to Trade and post it on your YouTube, right? And you'll be surprised when people start reaching out to you with that specific word from your YouTube video, because I'm literally getting 5 every single week, you guys. Like it's insane. I have a that accidentally started getting so much attention on YouTube. It's crazy. So that's a huge asset that you can post as well. And here's another cool thing. Now it's a source that is separate from your TikTok and your Instagram, and it's an actual YouTube video. So now you're kind of getting another lead source, right? YouTube's a totally different audience. And in fact, if you record this video, it can be like 8 to 10 minutes long or less. How to use GFU Connect, how to copy and paste a trade idea. Okay. You'll have people that are more qualified to work with you coming from YouTube than any other platform because usually it's longer videos, right? If you put out a couple longer form videos just giving value, you'd be surprised at how many people come across a video of yours and then just binge some of your other content. Now it's like, fast forward, you've been putting out longer form videos, 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes here, where, there, wherever. And they've now binged like 3 hours of your content and are ready to work with you. And the first DM that they send you is after they've seen this video on GFU Connect and they're like, yo, this is crazy. I can literally just copy and paste trade ideas and make money. Like, yo, hook me up. So this is a huge asset. This is one that I found by accident. Okay. Literally, it's on my YouTube channel. It's public. It's called Solex, the social trading app from the previous company. And I still get 5 leads every single week that are DMing me Solex for that particular video. And so, yeah, that's another asset that I would say to create. Not priority over these two, but it's a great video to put out and just publicly share. You know, you'll reach leads, you'll have attention that will then be captured when they reach out to you or follow you, and so on and so forth. Um, cool. And then of course, just content in and of itself. Like any piece of content that you put out is an asset. I had a video from 2 years ago that hit like 1 million views on TikTok randomly, like end of last year. And unfortunately, I'll share this because it's kind of like a what, that's crazy, but also like, oh, that sucks story because no money or no signups came from that video because it was just some video that was like kind of I don't know, it wasn't like an intentional video. There was no call to action. There was no value about trading. It was just like a video of me holding up a Zimbabwe $100 trillion bill, talking about inflation and fiat currency being garbage. It hit 1 million views. It's like, it's great. Wow, 1 million views is insane. But it's like, because it wasn't niche, because it wasn't relevant to my page, there was zero people that actually signed up from that video. So the content that you're putting out, you want to be very intentional with. And don't be frantic and like, oh man, like, I got to record videos, all day, every day, da, 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 and the quality is garbage because you're like trying to put out mass quantity. Like, focus on the quality as well, but be intentional with it and make sure that it's niched, make sure it's relevant to the people that are seeing your content. It will ultimately bring them to being captured attention, where you can now converse with them and sell them in the DMs. So now let's talk about tools. Those are assets, video assets that you can use, that you can create. Let's talk about the tools. I'm going to give you guys the best one first, because this is actually what's going to convert you sales in the DMs. Drop a three if you guys are still awake. I know it's past 10 p.m. on my side. We're coming up on like the hour and 15, hour and 20 minute mark here. You guys still awake? You guys that stuck around till the end, you're about to get the tools that are going to take your game to the next level with automation, number one, um, and number two with the sales process in DMs. So I have this script that I use as a rough template for inbound leads. Now, an inbound lead is someone that comes to your page or comes into your DMs or follows you from a piece of content. It's not you reaching out to them, it's them reaching out to you or connecting with you first. It's what we call inbound leads. So this is a sequence. I'm going to drop this link in the chat. You guys can, use this framework for your own Instagram DMs. This is one I use without fail every single time. Okay, and I say without fail, not that it doesn't convert. It doesn't convert 100% of the time, but I mean every single time I get a follower, every single time somebody reaches out to me about, copy trading, every single time somebody reaches out to me about X, Y, Z, whatever the case is, I'm using this inbound lead sequence. All right. This is the technicality that actually matters the most. Okay. Because if you go to close somebody in DMs and you haven't built enough rapport, you haven't built enough trust, you haven't built the authority figure, you haven't established a gap that you can then fill, you could be reaching out to all these people, but it's like nobody actually cares to sign up or actually cares to buy or, get started with the offer. All right. So one thing that's a tool that's great is the Instagram quick replies, where in Instagram DMs, you can basically type a word, or in this case for me, it's a number. Number one equates to these two lines of text, and it's yo name, thanks to the follower, yo name, appreciate you for reaching out. All right. So every time somebody messages me on Instagram, I type a one in the chat and I say yo name, thanks, appreciate you for reaching out. Anytime that somebody follows me on Instagram, all I do is click on their profile, go to message, click the number one, and then I say, yo, name, thanks for the follow. All right. Number two is associated with this one. How's everything going with your trading? Or if they just followed me, I'm going to say, yo, name, thanks for the follow. Are you a trader as well, or what is it that you do? So every single time somebody follows me from a reel, from, I don't know, somebody talking about me or sharing my Instagram profile or whatever the case is, however they found my page and followed me, I'm immediately messaging them after they followed me and I say, yo, thanks for the follow. And then I'll get into the second message right after saying, are you a trader as well, or what is it that you do? Because I have a trading page. For you, it might be different, right? Maybe you decide to change this up a little bit. Okay. It's very flexible based on the context of the inbound lead. Sometimes inbound leads are going to be coming into my DMs from a call to action on my, post where it's like comment news and I'll send you the recording. So I might send them the recording and then the automation is set up to say, how's everything going with your trading? So again, this is somewhat automated in some cases. It's better not to automate this process from what I found. It doesn't convert as well. So you almost want to be like, a real human when walking somebody through this text sequence because you can automate it fully. And I've tried it. I've experimented with it a little bit over the past month. Some of this you can automate like the first couple, but the whole entire process, it's better to actually be like, using the quick the numbers or whatever. Like my three right now is, are you more interested in copy trading or learning the skill, would you say? Because a lot of people that are following me are like trading already, but they're not at the point where they're consistently profitable. Maybe for you guys, it's someone's coming to your page from a TikTok or a reel and they're interested. You want to ask them, hey, what route are you more interested in taking? Or what way would you say you're leaning more towards? Maybe they want to do both. But this is a great question that I always ask somebody when they're in my DMs or when they've followed me. It's one of the first ones I ask them is, are you more interested in copy trading or learning the skill? Huge. Great question. Because then I can say and understand and have the context that would be relevant to direct them accordingly. I could be like, oh, cool, you're interested in copy trading. Fantastic. Have you seen my video that actually overviews the application that makes that way easier? They're going to be like, no. Be like, hold on, let me find that video for you. And then I send them that 8-minute video of overviewing GFU Connect. No price, no sale, but just more information, more value. I'm going to send that to them. What am I doing in the process? I took attention. The attention was captured. They've followed me. They've commented. They've used a comment, a call to action. They've DM'd me. All right. Now I'm nurturing. I'm nurturing the lead. I'm nurturing the person that, is going to make a buying decision, whether they know it or not yet. I'm not selling them yet. Okay. I'm nurturing them more through just the text sequence is great, but I might also send them some more value in video format depending on how they answer this question. Okay. Also, really key point. The number 3 or 4, I think it's number 4 now in my quick replies on Instagram. Again, I'm not spending like a minute typing out each of these lines. Like it's literally quick reply. Like I type the number 1, boom, message is already popping up for me. Number 2, message is already there. 3, this whole message, like in terms of trading, okay, in terms of trading, what's the goal you're aiming for in the next 3 to 6 months? All right. Regardless of what they say, I'm always saying, love that goal. Let's do it. What do you feel like you need the most right now to start out? I've actually got an even better one that I've been using recently. It's what do you feel like you need the most support with right now? So now gauging, okay, this is their goal. Now I'm gauging like what is the gap that they need to fill to get that goal done? If Leslie DMs me and she's like, hey, my goal is to make an extra $500 a month, it's like, okay, perfect, love that goal, let's do it. What do you feel like you need the most support with right now? Maybe she says, oh, well, like I just need some better trade ideas. Perfect. Now you transition to number 5. I actually support people in getting set up with the right trade ideas to support them in making $500 a month. If I sent you some more information about that, would you check it out? Or maybe her goal is to, quit her job and trade full time. I might take it a step further and go off the script a little bit here. And I might say, okay, cool. Like, how much would you need to make in order to be able to do that comfortably? Oh, I need to make about $2,000 a month. Okay, great. what do you feel like you need the most right now to get there? What support do you feel like you need right now? So I'm establishing a gap. Then, once the gap is established, I'm filling the gap. I actually support people with filling the gap. Obviously, don't say that. I'm gonna support people with XYZ. If I sent you a video overviewing exactly how, would you check it out? Okay. You can choose to do this if you'd like. I don't always do it, but I'll insert the exposure tool from there. Okay. And it's a quick video overview. I have like a 14-minute one that I've been sending people instead of the what I do video. But once I have the what I do video, it's going to literally be like, go watch this video on my, story highlight. So this sequence is fire. Like this is something I'm using all the time. And it's so like I'm not even having to think about it. Like these are, like I said, quick replies on Instagram. So an inbound lead is somebody that's responding with a call to action on my reel, like commenting a keyword or DMing me a keyword. Or another inbound lead is any follow. I'm reaching out to them saying, "Yo, thanks for the follow. Are you trading? Are you trader well as well, or what is it that you do?" Okay. You guys would be surprised at how many people will follow me that I have no idea who they are. I'll immediately message them being like, "Yo, thanks for the follow. Are you trading as well, or what else is it that you do?" And then they just like open up. They're like, "Yeah, I'm trading. I'm trying to figure it out, da da da." And then I just go into the sequence. It's seamless. It's so simple. Like I'm telling you guys, I'm sitting here on this call right now. We're almost done. I'm going to show you guys the last tool, which is the one that you guys are most excited about, called ManyChat, how I automate some of this stuff. And I've had like 39 enrollments to be exact over the past 60 days. And it's been easy, effortless. I haven't had to like exhaust myself on calls selling the person on why they should do this. They come to me and are interested and just ready to buy, or they come to me, they're interested, need more information, need more value, need more nurturing to then buy. It's so, I'm telling you guys, like it's so simple, man. I'm not, doing anything crazy. Olivia's not doing anything crazy. We're just doing what works. So let's talk about automation. Okay. I could spend like a whole call going over and dissecting this whole thing. Because this is really good stuff. And I think I'm going to save this for maybe a future training to dig deeper into this message sequence. And if you guys have questions about this, like message me. But when you use this effectively and you understand the different elements of why this works, you guys will start closing in the DMs like this. Okay. Maybe you're already closing the DMs. If you start to use this sequence, uh, you know, again, you don't want to be like a bot with it. And it's like every single time you're always, using it like one, two, three, four, five, six, whatever. But you basically could. Okay. Like it's crazy. You don't even have to hardly think to do this. It's really, really simple. But you might see yourself closing a higher ratio over DMs using this thing. So last but not least, most important tool that everybody's excited about is something called ManyChat. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. This is a tool that you can use for free. It's better when you pay for it. I think it's like 30 bucks a month. But this is how I automate everything. So, the only thing that I haven't been able to automate because they don't have it yet is when new followers follow me. That's one thing I hope they add, where it's like anytime I get a new follower, it's automatically sending them that DM, where it's like, yo, thanks for the follow. Are you a trader as well? Or what else is it that you do? Because it's going to automate the starting of that DM sequence. But anytime that I have a call to action and someone follows through on the call to action, everything is automated. So with ManyChat, you can link your Instagram. Okay. I have DM automations. I have Instagram live automations. I have comment automations on reels and posts, and I also have story reply automations. So the ones that I use I use all of these, by the way, but the ones that I use the most are story reply automations, and these ones are just on autopilot, DM automations for like a keyword. But these are the two that I use the most: Instagram reels and story replies. So basically, let me show you guys a couple examples, right? We'll start with DM automations. Okay, my info inbound. All right, this is currently something that I'm actually going to be fixing up a little bit. But the current info inbound. So you guys remember how I have on my Instagram page, it's like, DM me info to learn how we could potentially work together. Okay. I'll get like I don't know, maybe 10 of these a month. Okay. Because the only place I have info as an automation or a call to action is in my Instagram bio. That's it. It's good to have like a unique one for your Instagram bio so you can actually track and gauge how effectively or how well it works. But I did attempt to actually automate this whole DM sequence practically. Again, I wouldn't encourage you to automate an entire sequence. It's better to actually like be a human and do it, but you can automate a part of it. Okay, so if the user messages, if the message is info, it will trigger the first automation, which is, hey, first name, trust you're doing well. Are you still interested in how we can work together? There's a button that says yes. When they click that button, it transitions into the next automation, which is sounds good. Are you more interested in copy trading or becoming independently profitable? They can choose whatever they select. Uh, Basically, it's, if they choose copy trading, it's like it'll send them to this message. If they choose becoming independent, it'll send them to this message. If they choose both, it'll send them to this message. Okay, it doesn't really matter what they choose because it's all going to link back to the same one afterwards, anyways. All right. So it's basically like, oh, okay, cool. Like, do you have trading experience? That's what I'll ask them. So if they choose copy trading, it sends them to this. It's like, perfect. Do you have trading experience already? Yes, not yet. Next one is okay, cool. I'm looking to support a few students more closely. If I sent you a recording that overviews how we could potentially work together, would you check it out? If they click yes, perfect, boom, I'm sending them. Here's the recording. So again, I wouldn't encourage you guys to fully automate this. I've been experimenting with it. It's been kind of hit or miss. And it doesn't convert as well as like actually communicating with the individual, but you could definitely automate the first couple things here, right? Like instead of this being a buttoned option where it's going to then automate again, maybe I send, somebody DMs me the word info, it quickly messages them automatically. I'm not lifting a finger here. Hey, trust you're doing well. Are you still interested in working together? They select yes. Awesome. Are you more interested in copy trading or becoming independent? And then I leave it there. Then I wait for them to respond, and then I'm actually actively engaging conversation with them, going through that sequence, building enough rapport, making sure they've seen enough value, nurtured enough before actually going for the close. Okay. I have a copy trading one that works fairly well. Again, this is like I've been experimenting with this. So far, I think I've had maybe one that's closed from this full automation. It's basically this just fully automated with ManyChat. Um, so it hasn't been converting as well as I thought it might. But I think I've closed like one person from a full automation without ever actually having to lift a finger and connect with them. Um, just from the automations. But if they, message me ready, copy trading, or oh, this is where the info one went was to this one. Um, same structure. I'll ask them, hey, first name, appreciate you reaching out. Have you seen my join my team story highlight yet? They'll say yes or no. If they say no, I'll say no worries, have a quick look, message me when you're done. Okay, there's like a quick reply that'll come up that says done, so it's quicker and easier for them to just press that, and then it'll trigger the next automation. Right. And then it's like a whole sequence, and again, it goes through, are you more interested in copy trading, becoming independent, da da da, whatever. So I'm showing you guys this not to encourage you to do a whole sales sequence automated, but just showing you what you can do with ManyChat. So it's really cool. Like the preview, this is what it looks like. They message me the word info. Hey, first name, appreciate you reaching out. Hey, Don, I appreciate you reaching out. Have you seen my join my team story highlight? Gives them the two options, yes or no. Yeah, I have actually. Okay, great. It'll wait a few seconds. Okay, notice how I have it set to wait 3 seconds before replying. Okay, perfect. So it's kind of automating, as if I'm a human. But person's still pretty much able to tell that it's not me. Um, and I'll say, I'm more interested in copy trading or becoming independent. I'll be like both. Okay, it's going to wait a couple seconds, continue the automation sequence. You guys get the point. All right, so I'm experimenting with this. Can it be effective? Can it work? Yes, but I haven't seen enough evidence to encourage you to do so. Fully automated through ManyChat. For DM sequences and this particular script, it's best for you to do it manually. You can automate the first couple, no problem, from inbound, words or call to actions that you use. but the rest it's better to actually go through manually. Cool. Um, the reason I use these other two the most is because they are the best to automate is Instagram Reels and story automations. So that newsreel that I was showing you guys, I'll pull up exactly what it looks like. I believe, do you add quick replies using this website or through Instagram? The Instagram for quick replies, it's actually on Instagram, but you can actually have like the first couple of automations set up with ManyChat as well. But the quick replies are something that you just do by clicking. Um, it's like called saved replies, actually. It's like this little three dotted lines. When you click that, it's pulling up my whole list of auto replies. So notice like number one, what does it say? Yo, name, thanks for the follow, or yo, thanks for the follow. Okay, and then it goes one, two, three, four. So I literally just type the number one, and then it's like that's the message that comes up. Number two, that's the message that comes up. Okay. Cool. We're almost done here. I want to just show you guys this for ManyChat real quick. So let's see. I think it's the NFP VSL. Okay. So this one right here, if the person comments the word news or new on this specific reel, the one that I showed you guys earlier, then it will send them the news training. Okay. What's really cool is they will track all the analytics. So 88 contacts reached this step. All right. 88 were sent, 88 were delivered, 83 were opened, and then 89 were actually clicked. Okay. The clicking is the actual, watching or clicking the link to then watch the video. So this could actually be made even better, where it's like I would send this to them and then I would ask them a question like, how's everything going with your trading? And then that will be an excuse to continue the conversation manually afterwards. All right. So you want to give free value, automate a second almost follow-up message. I'm gonna actually do this right now. This will be good. Show you guys. Okay. So there's this here's a news training. Boom. Let's say after they've clicked that, I want to automate another message. I'm actually not sure if it's going to let me do so here because this is a comment reply. So maybe that's why I don't have one. But anyways, you could just, go through and see, hey, this person replied on the reel, the automation sent them the training, and then you could use some sort of follow up to ask like how their trading's going or whatever the case is. Okay, so Instagram Reels are great, and then my all-time favorite for automations is story replies. Okay, where I actually post a story that is a call to action for them to reply a specific word. And then when they reply that word, boom, there's an automated sequence. But then it's an excuse for me to continue conversing and having conversation with them. So you guys can see a few of these that have been really effective. I'll average between like 70, for the most popular ones at least, 70 and like 150 automations per story call to action with my current following. So the free trial one, for example, I had 84 people that over the span of 3 days for my Instagram stories were replying the word yes. Okay, so notice how this was like the story. It says day one of the 3-day boot camp, trading basics is tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. If you haven't already and you want to be involved, reply yes, and I'll plug you in. So as soon as somebody replies yes to that story, I'll automate this message that says, hey, you still interested in 3-day boot camp and free trial? When they click yes, it adds the tag for free trial so I can follow up with them, which I need to do. And then it'll say, okay, cool. Here's the fast start for getting started. Revolt free trial. I literally forwarded them to the website for the free trial. And then I say, let me know when you're in the Telegram. Okay, fully done for me. So I didn't have to, lift my finger once to send somebody the Telegram link to join. As soon as they replied to the story, it was fully automated. I didn't have to do anything. Now all I have to do is follow up with the 80, however many people it was that joined the free trial. Okay. So I use this one all the time. Think about how you could use this creatively. Maybe it's for opportunity calls. Maybe it's for family calls that are open to the public, like mindset trainings or, whatever the case may be. You can really get super creative with this. But there's literally one on my story right now, right? It says hosting a high level trading call on Wednesday. Reply link and I'll send it to you if you want to join. All right, that's this one right here. There's been 31 people that have received the automation, and it gives me the full list as well of all the people, so I can follow up with them later. But it says, hey, do you still want the Zoom link to register? If they click yes, 70% click to, CTR ratio. So about 76% have clicked. And of the people that have clicked, it looks like a 96% is actually going through and registering for the Zoom call. I mean, once you've registered, right? But I can change this to be like, how's everything going with your trading? And it starts conversation, right? The best thing you can do with these automations is to start conversation with them. But that's the tool. I would say the most sought after tool is ManyChat. It's great. You can use it for free. The paid version is better, but it's not absolutely necessary until you're at a point where it makes sense to have it. But yeah, fam, cool. It took a little bit longer um, with the overview of ManyChat, but ManyChat's fantastic, man. You can experiment with it, do really, really good stuff with it. And it's a great tool. Definitely saves a lot of time. Um, it's not absolutely necessary when you're just starting out on social media, but it can be a great tool. So, anyways, fam, I'm gonna wrap it up here. About an hour and a half long training. For those of you guys that are on the recording, shout out to you for taking the time to watch it. And for those of you guys that are here live that made it to the end, appreciate y'all. Hopefully, you guys got some value and are in a position where you're ready, fired up to go out there and put out some content, and ultimately, capture that content, start conversations, bring them through the process of being nurtured and ultimately to a point of making a buying decision, whatever that buying decision is, whether it's to join Revolt, whether it's to, buy a product on your, I don't know, Amazon store or whatever it is. Okay. But you can use this for any business, which is great. But yeah, fam, cool. Well, enjoy the rest of the Sunday evening. We will be back with a lot of trading calls this week. I look forward to that. Be ready to take some trade ideas and let's go. For those of you guys on the next wave, let's dial it in. Let's keep pushing it forward with the daily and weekly tasks. And yeah, man, looking forward to seeing you guys on another call very soon. Let's get some fireworks going for the end of the training. Oh, are we gonna do fireworks today? Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Boom. Awesome. I don't know. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But much love, everybody. See you guys very soon. Peace out.